Hi guys, I'll be honest here. When I first picked up the Quest 3, I enjoyed the experience a lot, but I went straight back to using the Reverb G2. However, I no longer have a Reverb G2, so what has changed in that time? Join me in this episode to find out what I've modified in order to make the Quest 3 a great experience for sim racing. My biggest initial gripe of the Quest 3 had nothing to do with the screens, the microphone or the audio quality. I found the head strap was so uncomfortable that much more than an hour was absolute agony. That all changed with a new third-party head strap. Kudos to VR sim racing guy for this find. The Aubika charging strap, I'm not sure if that's how it's pronounced, is great. It easily doubles the Quest 3's battery life and is comfortable throughout that duration. It also doesn't hurt that it's half the price of the official battery strap either, and hasn't been recalled unlike that product. I found adding a battery pack into the back of that head strap made it possible to do a 5-hour sim racing stint. Now, I wasn't really sim racing, I was sim trucking, but you know, it's pretty much the same experience. You're going to be in there for hours on end. And let's face it, if you're actually sim racing for 5 hours, that's going to be terrible. Moving on from the head strap, we talk about battery life. The charging head strap I purchased finally unlocked the kind of playtime needed in order to race endurance. I've still not tried charging mid-race, and that'll take some serious hardware to get the Quest 3 back up to full battery. But having the ability to race for a solid 2 to 3 hours is more than enough for most events. Also, a recent update to the Quest 3 has improved battery life when it's connected to a PC USB, so that helps us out a little bit if we're talking wired. There's a reason why I mentioned being wired in the last section, and that's because I no longer am. I had a frustrating experience with the Oculus software, ever present for AirLink and Oculus Link. Now, no doubt that'll improve over the year. I've already seen some nice updates, but they're still a little bit slow coming. I need a good experience now. Something that'll be a game changer against the native interface of a true VR headset for PC. I tried a couple of options. Steam Link, which had noticeably worse visuals, almost negating the benefit of the pancake lenses. It is a plug-and-play solution, so has that going for it. However, game changer it is not, at least not yet. This is where Virtual Desktop steps in. But I have to say, this is some software that I was originally reluctant to try. However, after trying it, I like that this software, once you power up the PC, you can control every aspect of it. I didn't think I needed that, but actually it makes the experience a lot easier when you're going from your VR desktop to your VR game. It just feels less clunky. It has a number of customization options to get the best out of your VR experience, and that really is quite helpful in making sure that you can just fine-tune the experience so you have a great playtime. This doesn't come freely, and that would be the only reason not to recommend it, but in my opinion it is money well spent. The other products we're talking about, Steam Link, AirLink, Oculus Link, they're all free products, but they haven't got the kind of love and attention, the dedication that I've seen from the virtual desktop community, which there is a Discord for, and it is very active. In the games I've played so far on virtual desktop, the experience has been fluid and without any issue, at least not coming from virtual desktop itself. I've had issues with some games I've experimented with, but they don't officially support VR, so that's on me. Initially, Passthrough was the best feature for me. It allowed me to dip in and out of VR without having to take the headset off. I still use it occasionally if I'm stepping in and out of the rig, but honestly, virtual desktop negates most of that need for me now, at least on the software side. Having easy access to your desktop at a couple of key presses or a couple of presses on your controllers is great. And yeah, the only time I'm really dipping into Passthrough now is to check the battery life of the headset or to see something else that I've got on screen when you're using the multitasking mode. Still, having it available is extra ammunition for the Quest 3's already impressive arsenal. Now, I've mentioned this a couple of times in this video already, but the Quest 3 is getting quite a number of updates. And it's one thing that stands out for me for the Quest platform as a whole. They really do add some fantastic new features. I've yet to test them all out properly, but for example, there's a YouTube chat that allows you to have YouTube chat going whilst you're streaming to your audience, which is fantastic and it's hard to do in VR any other way. Having the ability to interact directly with your audience in the headset and not put the burden on your PC is another great feature for the Quest line of devices. In the short time I've been an owner of a Quest 3, there have been some great updates already. And some of these, the Quest 2 can still benefit from. So even if you have one of those older devices, you're still getting updates now. Not the Quest 1 anymore, that's completely end of life, but still it's impressive to see that older devices are still seeing some support. Adding the charging head strap to the Quest 3 turns it into a comfortable endurance experience where I'm less likely to have trouble with comfort or battery life. The Reverb G2 has slightly better visuals, but only in the narrow window of viewing. Windows Mixed Reality could never be described as a seamless experience. Neither can it be said that the Oculus desktop experience is worlds better. Virtual desktop with the Quest 3 is much closer to what the experience should be though, and that turned out to be the final nail in the coffin for my trusty old Reverb G2. It's still more messing around than I'd like when setting up streaming, and I've got to get more confident with doing that, and I'm sure I will over time. Now I hope you guys have enjoyed this video journaling my journey to a better Quest 3 experience. And if you've liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you like this kind of thing, would like to see more of it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It'd be great, and be nice seeing you next time, guys. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.